is just fantastic. Captain's Log, Subdate 220406.2. I had to replicate a brand new Captain's Logbook. I'll now burn the previous one so that no official records exist, and then I'll blame a random NPC crewman and charge them with vandalism of official records. I am so damn professional, can you tell? Very rarely have I ever seen a creator have everything taken away from them, for them to then eventually get it back, for that same creator to clearly not learn any lessons and think that this is all orchestrated by another person to the point they will use that scapegoat as a way of legitimizing their continuation of behavior that got them into trouble in the first place. Even rarer than that is a creator acknowledging that they've done something wrong and actually doing something creative and productive and proactive to address the problem and go forward having learned their lesson. It is almost as mythical as delicious celery. So yes, for the 4th time in 5 weeks, we have to address Chantal, and it has nothing to do with the fact that I get views from it, and it has nothing to do with the fact that this makes my research streams a lot easier for an end-of-year review that is more than likely going to be about 4 hours long. I've already made January and February and they're both over 20 minutes. Not even a effing joke. March is going to be absolute cancer, and you all know it. Last week I spoke about how Chantal had gotten her channel back. I considered it a thing, because I was on the fence. She had violated the nudity policy. That much was known and I could prove it. Others, of course, can do a far better job. Reddit is a great place for this kind of cancer. So one does then have to wonder how on earth she managed to get it back. Then again, it may not have been her accidental flashing, but instead may have well been something to do with the fact that somebody else had flashed on her stream, more than likely on purpose. Chantal, as everyone knows, has the reaction time of a corpse, unless it involves getting really angry with, I believe she calls her Charlie Cole, or she finally dropped that because she realized how racist that sounded, aka Charlie Gold. Not here to defend Charlie, not here to criticize Charlie, although I do know Chantal in her celebratory stream coming back put CG in the title, which made me believe perhaps this was a giant middle finger to Charlie. Clearly she, being active on Twitter, didn't notice everyone else going in on her. To celebrate receiving her AdSense, a significant check, no, she did not pay taxes, Chantal went to Cuba, and I didn't think she'd actually go. I thought she would just get some green screens and make it look like she was there. Maybe get Ramona to make an appearance as some kind of fan-waving, grape-feeding, cigar-wielding servant, right? Instead, Chantal has, well, made some rather interesting decisions while there. Has she been washing her clothes in the bath with her own shampoo? I heard the rumour about that. Is that true? I'm not saying it's ick, but it's a little bit strange. Does shampoo even have fabric softener? So yes, Chantal actually went on holiday, and Chantal streamed most of the time there. I don't even know if she's home yet at time of recording. As far as I was aware, there was a layover flight, so if she's lucky, she'll get stopped. If she's even luckier, she'll have lost her wallet, because that would make this so much more entertaining, although I had also heard she gave away her credit cards. You found yourself another man, didn't you? Anyway, during some of her streams, she said some things that were a bit spicy. Spicy because she still hasn't quite let go of the fact that Nada and Didi are not marrying her. I'm assuming that's what she wants out of this. I can't tell anymore what she's actually after. I should now add disclaimer, I am not taking Nada or Didi's side. I said in the last video, the one before that, I'll say it in every single one if I have to. They're all terrible people. All of them. During Chantal's holiday, she did some karaoke, which I can't play. I was just very impressed that she sang in what looked like an empty room. She went for a little swim in the ocean because we had to see that she was outside of her room, where she mostly streamed. I had thought she was the type of person to go on holiday and spend her entire time in the hotel, and because she's so flush with coin, simply order room service. But then I realized I don't think they have enough food on that island to accommodate for her appetite. She is, after all, a hungry girl. Where things get really, really interesting on this holiday though was, I believe, on April the 4th. Chantel did a stream and she was... Well, this is where we know she didn't learn her lesson. You see, one of the problems I found with her content when it came to streaming was, if she went on live and she had not in any way prepared anything for the show, if she simply went on live and started talking but was in any way compromised, inhibitions lowered, to a degree where she would then say something, let's say, slanderous, libel, racist, ableist if you're that person, or any other buzzword that I can insert here, you probably shouldn't stream. You probably shouldn't if you're the type of person who will say all of these things and then put out a rather pathetic community post afterwards indicating that you're sorry for what you did, even though you've done this so many times and many people believe the only reason you are doing it now is because you are, to you, indestructible. You are, to you, untouchable. No one can flag the big booty girl. No, you can't stop the fupa person thingy doodah. I was trying to think of a cute way of saying, like, flump the fupa, trump the fupa, something like that, but there's nothing that really works. By all means, give me a recommendation down below. Best one gets pinned. What made this more interesting to me is how you responded on Twitter, because on Twitter, you actually clap back quite a bit. Community posts are known for disappearing, so everyone has to screenshot those fast. Tweets, though, we can just archive them. We can archive them because you don't delete them as fast. And it's there where I found it quite fascinating that you were defending certain beliefs. Also, I can't play clips of things you've said in your streams here because they'd be demonetized. Whether that be because what you said is not remotely ad-friendly or because there's music in the background and UMG are tossers. When you are so bitter and so spiteful, your first thought concerning your ex is to say, go back to Egypt, you effing refugee piece of plot. Chances are, somebody, whether they want to admit it or not, even though they don't admit it but they kinda do at the same time, you still have connection issues and you refuse to let go. Then again, you are both dominant and submissive, which is really strange in the context of this little three-way you've got going on. And no, I'm not going to touch the fact that you've had one of those, I believe. You know, I've often wondered what it's like to stick my dick in a lump of lard. But you know what? Ew is the answer that we should all stick with for now. The strange thing about you, Chantel, when it came to your Twitter responses was defending words that people find quite insulting. One word is retard. Now, you can say, in the context of me saying it, oh, you're being ableist, you're using ableist language. No, I'm stating the word, and context matters. In streams like Foodie Beauties, it was used as a pejorative, which many consider to be ableist because of that. Whether I agree or disagree, not touching that with a barge pole because honestly I don't want to polarize my audience. I'd rather you all feel welcomed. Which is very different to Chantel, which I'll explain in a moment. Chantel then had a semantics argument back and forth about white privilege and retard privilege with eco-hair Zachary Michael, who I could have sworn had said they were not going to be doing videos on Chantel anymore until Chantel got yeeted and it was like, oh my god, time for cringy funeral. But I'll save that little nugget of information for another day. I'm still not a fan of Hater Nation for a whole plethora of reasons. And the Yaba Kali stuff is hilarious. So back to Chantel. Her tweets are hilarious, by the way. I even said on Twitter yesterday, unpopular opinion, I think she is. Because, honestly, her interactions on Twitter are funny. She knows how to bait you all, and she gets it. I kept saying that if you didn't want that in your timeline, if you didn't want to keep on commenting on that, all you had to do was walk away, stop feeding her, because you are feeding her. And the interesting thing here is, Chantel at this present moment thinks she's indestructible. Chantel's sitting pretty on 92,000 subs. I think she'll hit 100k, I really do. Even if people start flagging her, I think she's got the ability to get there. Because, at the moment, with so much going on, people are turning up to watch her. She is cultivating a community built entirely on despising her. I'm sure there are people that like to watch her, but then when she goes on to complain in videos, streams, tweets, about her audience and her haters, who's responsible for that? Because I personally believe she is 100% responsible. She is the one, after all, that has made it so that her community hate her so much, and she feeds on that. It's why she streams so much and why so many watch her. It's why so many follow her. It's why many more will continue to do so. I know people like to say that Amberlynn has gotten boring. Comparatively, yes, the answer is true. Chantel, though, is going through a very different stage of life where she still thinks she's untouchable because she got her channel back. Because ultimately, to her, the haters fail. And that's not the mentality to have. You violated TOS. That's what many people have latched onto and are very curious how you managed to swing it. Are you going to make changes? Clearly you're not. And that is going to cause more people to publicly say they're walking away. Unless, of course, you are somebody's vaunted piñata, in which case they as a community are going to continue to use you and every small minute thing you say and blow it out of proportion for videos that will be several times longer than this, where I simply say to you, Chantel, please don't stream when you're drunk. Please don't stream when you are high. Please don't stream if you are in any way compromised from something else, maybe something mental health related. It is not good for your health in the long run or even the short term. Because let's face it, as entertaining as that is for the hateful community that you have cultivated, it is not good for you, especially when this eventually crumbles. And it's going to reach a precipice at some point. You and I both know, as creators, our shelf lives are dependent on our changing. At some point, something has to change. If that be you yeeted again for more continued violations of YouTube's terms of service, then that'll be what causes it. While I think it's admirable that you would stretch yourself on multiple platforms to seek to try and keep your content and your presence alive, it could be seen as too little too late if you don't make changes. Those people who do not like you, they'll probably not bother unsubbing, and you can still grow a new community, but you're always going to have a majority dislikes to likes, not that anyone else can see it. For as long as you continue down this path of arrogance, you will always be a joke to the wider community. And by the way, one of those necessary changes that many of us had to make was changing the language we use and to stop defending things. While it is a free speech thing, I fully get it. One has to play a game to succeed, because while controversy does in fact put more food on your table, it will only further the hatred towards you. It does not make you a better person, and it certainly doesn't make you a better creator. Although there is certainly a debate to be had about being a creator and a streamer. Although I will admit, credit where it's due, I guess, you spend a fair amount of money on wigs, even if you have given them a haircut. If you really want to go further, by the way, another thing you need to do is completely sever contact with Nada and Didi. You are clearly still attached, and you lash out because you're not getting your own way, something you are used to getting, and because of that, you are a petty and spiteful person. That petty and spiteful behavior is going to hurt you as well, a level of maturity akin to that of a teenager. Aren't you nearly 40? Anyway, that was just some advice for you. I doubt you'll listen, you didn't before. You just carried on, but I wanted to put it out there. As we have concluded, I do of course want to know what you all think. Please do let me know in the comments down below. If you did like this rant, please smash the like. I shall be streaming on Twitch later. If I don't see you there, have a fantastic day. And thank you all very much for listening. Ta-ta. So odds on Chantal getting yeeted in the next 4 weeks?